Hi, friends. So we're back together again here on Facebook Live and in our Google Classroom in a few minutes. Um, I'm sharing with you today a book called Jobs People Do. Yesterday we read Helpers in Your Neighborhood. And if you've noticed, the theme for this week for our read alouds is community helpers. That's what we're reading about this week. Last week we did a lot of weather read alouds. This week we're doing community helpers because our community helpers are working so hard to keep us safe. And we even have community helpers in our classroom. So you could be thinking about your parents and thinking if your parent is a community helper, and maybe you could share that with us on Google Classroom or in your writing, or I don't know, you could just talk about it at home with your families. So anyway, today we're going to read Jobs People Do. And if you look closely, we can see that this book is written by, the author is Josephine Selwyn. Hi Cece, I'm happy you're here. We're reading this little book today. It's called Jobs People Do, and it's all about different jobs in our community because this week our focus in our social studies lessons and in our read alouds is on community helpers because our community helpers are so important right now because they're really keeping us together and keeping us safe and doing things that we need so that we can be at home and be safe with our families. So we're going to learn about jobs people do. Written by Josephine Selwyn. And at the beginning, because this is one of our non-fiction all about the world books, it's one of our simple non-fiction all about the world books, there is a picture dictionary. And this is a non-fiction text feature. Hi, Xavier. I'm going to show you the cover. We're reading Jobs People Do today. So some of the jobs we are going to read about in this book include a baker. I'm going to use my little marker to point because it's easier that way. A baker, a dentist, a doctor, and then on the next page we have firefighter, police officer, and a teacher. These are all people who work in our community, and I'm going to read what the little apple says. It says, read the picture dictionary. You will find these words in this book. So that's exciting. Look at me. I'm a police officer. And here we can see the police officer. Let's see, what do we notice about the police officer? I can see that there's a label that says badge, and he's talking on a radio. It looks like he is standing outside of his patrol car, his police car, and he has on his uniform. Did you know that lots of community helpers wear uniforms? He has on his uniform, and we know when we look at him, because of his uniform and his badge, that he is a police officer. Police officers help to keep us safe, right? Ooh, the next one says, look at me, I'm a firefighter. Right? And if we were reading this at home, we'd be pointing to the words, look at me, I am a firefighter. And let's look closely at him. You ready? I'm going to fold my book back. Not the best way to treat my book, but it's easier for us to see. So, do you see the label? What does that label say? You're right. It says helmet. And when you look at a firefighter, this firefighter has clearly been working because you can see that he has some soot on his face. But he's wearing his uniform. He's wearing his protective clothing. I know that we have at least one family with a firefighter in the family in our classroom. Firefighters help keep us safe. Did you notice the number on his helmet? His number is 11. I'm not sure what the number stands for. I don't know if that's The firehouse that he works in? I'm not sure. We'll have to ask. I'll have to research that, because I don't know. Look at me. I'm a doctor. Look at that. Doctors wear uniforms too. And if you look closely, you can see a label. See this? That is a very big scientific word. It's a stethoscope. That is a tool that doctors use to listen to people's hearts and lungs and to hear their heartbeat and to hear their breathing. And it helps them find your pulse, I think. And look, this doctor has her uniform on. She has her white coat on. And if you look way over here, you can see that she has a special name badge, kind of like the teachers have their name badges at school. Doctors help keep us safe. Look at me. I'm a dentist. So you can see that this dentist is holding a tool. This is a tool that everybody should be using twice a day. Can you see it down here? This label says toothbrush. You're right. And she's teaching this little girl, her patient, I guess, how to brush her teeth. Dentists help keep us healthy. They help us learn how to keep our teeth healthy, right? So they're a community helper. And she has on a white coat as well. And she has special glasses. If you look really carefully, hello, Miss Van Winkle, thanks for joining us. If you look so closely, you can see that she has little magnifying glasses attached to her glasses. Can you imagine if you had magnifying glasses attached to your glasses? Wouldn't that be cool? It probably helps her look really carefully at your teeth when she's cleaning them and taking care of them. Okay, let's see who's next. Look at me. I'm a baker. Bakers are community helpers too. They work in our community and they make food for us to eat, don't they? And this baker, wow, lots of our community helpers have white coats, I'm just noticing. Did you guys notice that? He has on something special. He has a baker's hat on. And people who work in kitchens, who are bakers or who cook food and are chefs, wear special hats. They do, and they wear special clothing to keep the food safe. Hi, Declan. We're reading about community helpers today. You can go back and listen to the rest of the story later. It's a good one. So there is a label telling us that he's wearing a special hat. Ah, look at me. I'm a teacher. And look, there's a label here too. The teacher is writing on the board. And it's a special board. Oh, he looks like Miss Van Winkle's son. That's so cool. Is that the chef, Miss Van Winkle, or the teacher? I feel like it might be the chef because I think one of your boys is a chef. Am I right? This person is a teacher, and they're using the whiteboard to talk about classroom rules. And teachers help us because, well, a teacher's first job is to keep you safe in school, right? Ah, Miss Van Winkle has a son who's a chef. That is so cool. I bet he makes her lots of yummy meals now that they're home together all the time. So a teacher keeps us safe and keeps us learning, right? Oh, nice. Miss Van Winkle's son goes to a college where he's learning how to become an even better chef. It's called Johnson & Wales. Maybe someday you guys will go to college and you'll become community helpers. That would be a fun thing to write about and to talk about, wouldn't it? Let's see. So at the very end, there's an activity page. But we're going to do something a little different than this activity. So we read this story, and this story was all about jobs people do, right? All about some community helpers in our community. And we talked about all of these different community helpers. We talked about the baker, the dentist, the doctor. We talked about the firefighter and the police officer and the teacher. Can you think of any other community helpers that are in our community? You know who helps us a lot? Nurses. Our school nurses, like Nurse Grace. There are some moms that I know are nurses. There are some moms that I know are doctors in our classroom. I'm trying to think if we have any police officers. I know we have some teachers in our classroom. We have some moms who do an important job and they work at the stores. We still need to be able to go to the stores even though we're staying at home. And those people are also community helpers, right? But today, you know what we're going to focus on? We are going to think about our healthcare workers, people who work in healthcare. And I'm going to include in that, I'm going to include, let's see, well, of course, dentists and doctors. But I'm also going to include firefighters and police officers because if you have a healthcare emergency, they come and they help you right away. The EMTs and the paramedics, absolutely. Those are all healthcare workers that help us. So nurses, doctors, dentists, EMTs, paramedics, police officers, firefighters, all of these people I would consider as part of like the healthcare group of community helpers. And I want to show you something that my friend Miss Malello, who teaches the other kindergarten class, suggested maybe we could do. She saw that there were some people in some neighborhoods who were making hearts for healthcare workers, and they were hanging the hearts on their doors and in their windows. So I want to show you, and you may already know how to do this, but it's kind of fun, so I thought I'd show you. If you take a piece of paper and you fold it in half, you are beginning at the beginning stage of making a heart that you can cut out and you can put on your window. So I'm going to show you how you can do this. So you're going to keep the fold on one side. This is my fold. And you're going to start writing a number 2. Do you remember how to write the number 2? I hope so. So I'm going to show you. I hope that this will show up correctly when I do it up here like this. So I'm going to start on the fold. So this part's the open part on one side. I'm going to start on the fold. And I'm going to pretend, I'm going to write the number 2. So I'm going to come up and down and stop. Did you see how I did that? If I keep going, I could make the number 2, and that's fine. But I'm on the fold. See, here's the fold. Bloop, bloop. I've drawn half a heart, haven't I? Now I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut it out. Uh-oh. Let me cap my marker so I don't lose my marker. So I'm going to cut right on the line. Can you see me if I'm cutting on the line like this? Here I go. I'm cutting on my line. I'm going to follow my line carefully. I'm moving my paper. And then, just like magic, I'm going to open it up. And look, I have a heart. What do you think? So, of course, am I going to put a white heart out there? No way. I'm going to color my heart in and decorate it. And I think I'm going to do more than one. So if everyone in our class makes a heart for healthcare workers and puts it on their door or in their window, then maybe you could take a walk later this week when it's nice again and see if you can count how many hearts for healthcare workers are out there. So this is a challenge for you. See if you can do it. So that's our read aloud. We learned about jobs that people do in our community. We talked about community helpers. And we learned how to make a heart out of a folded piece of paper. And if you need to see it again, you could always rewind this video, go back, and watch again. I hope you try it out. I hope you put a heart out on your door or in your window to say thank you to all of our healthcare workers. And I will see you guys tomorrow at morning meeting. Thanks so much for joining. See you later. Bye.